Good evening. First, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Mayor Lani Cayetano, the wife of the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Secretary of Health Francisco Duque, Honorable Sala M. Tucala, Minister of Health of Tonga, Ambassador Evan Garcia from Geneva, Deputy Foreign Minister Enrique Manalo, Consul General Claro Cristobal, distinguished guests, welcome to the reception which we proudly host to honor a dedicated leader and national public health champion of the Philippines. The Philippines gives great importance to our health sector as a critical element of development. As a demonstration of our long commitment, the Philippines joined the World Health Organization on 9 July 1948 as one of the organization's founding members. The Philippines welcomed in Manila the WHO Country Office in January 1973. The government continues to work closely with it through the Department of Health in attaining the shared vision of all for health towards health for all. The Philippines WHO Country Cooperation Strategy 2017-2022 closely aligns the WHO's support with national health priorities. My government believes that the Philippines could contribute more to advancing the work of the World Health Organization if it entrusts one of the best and brightest Philippine health experts to lead its Western Pacific Regional Office. We therefore seek your valuable support for the candidature of Dr. Susan Mercado for the position of a Regional Director of the WHO Western Pacific for the term 2019-2024 at elections to be held next month in Manila to represent the Philippines in the Asia Pacific. Now, just allow me to make a few personal remarks. I know Susie. I know her parents well. But even more, I knew about her. My circle was political and media. It included her husband. But as far back as I can remember, I knew of her as someone so young, so studious, and so singularly devoted to the service of the public health. She never deviated from that devotion, despite the politics that swirled around her. I know her parents, people of tremendous integrity and service. The fruit, in this case, fell right at the foot of the tree. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to give the floor to Secretary of Health Francisco Duque III. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our distinguished permanent representative to the United Nations in New York. And also, good evening to one and all. Thank you for taking time to participate in this event. And I join Secretary Cayetano, who I understand is nursing a sore throat, and he wants to preserve his voice for his speaking engagement come Saturday. But representing him ably, of course, is none other than his lovely and gorgeous wife, the mayor of one of the most progressive and dynamic cities of Metro Manila, and I refer to Mayor Lani Cayetano. Also, of course, we are all indeed honored by your presence. The Western Pacific region of WHO has been known for its solidarity. And it is in this spirit of solidarity that we would like to propose a way forward in the selection of a new regional director at the next regional committee meeting in October. Building on the glorious past of WHO Western Pacific region and moving into the future with renewed energy, a fresh perspective, and new capacity to address the complexity of public health in our time, the Philippines humbly nominates a candidate who we believe will lead us through the next 5 years with competence and compassion. But before we go into the future, I thought I would share some insights on the past. I did a bit of reading on the history of WHO in the Western Pacific. A Western Pacific regional organization was first proposed on the Third World Health Assembly in 1948. A temporary office was established in Hong Kong on 15th of August 1951. The regional office was transferred from Hong Kong to Manila and was initially housed at the Bureau of Quarantine Port Area Intramuros. Since then, the Philippines has had the distinct honor of being home to the Western Pacific region of WHO. But through all these years, we have never had a woman regional director. And perhaps it is time for us to elect a woman. Apart from the fact that women and children face a disproportionate part of health challenges, the Sustainable Development Goals for the participation, engagement, and leadership of women in achieving our vision for 2030. So this year, we are proud to nominate a Filipina to be the first woman WHO regional director in the region. And she is not just a woman. There is, in fact, a 23-page CV to describe the distinguished career of our nominee. But don't worry, I will not belabor this CV. But let me just sum up a few points about her wonderful persona. As testament to her solid international work in public health, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte of the Republic of the Philippines designated Dr. Susan Mercado as Special Envoy of the President for Global Health Initiatives. In this capacity, she works under the Department of Foreign Affairs as well as with the Department of Health on a range of international public health concerns. Dr. Susan Mercado is a medical doctor with 30 years of experience and dedication to public health. She started in the Philippines as a physician for a non-government organization working in an urban poor community in the city of Makati on primary health care and nutrition. She is a familiar face on Philippine television as she hosted the longest-running public service program that raised funds for medically indigent patients, and she continues to work in mainstream media as she is highly skilled communicator. She has served in the Department of Health under 2 presidents as Chief Executive Assistant to then Secretary Juan M. Flavier and as Undersecretary and Vice Minister to then Secretary Alberto Romualdez. Transitioning from the subnational and national levels, Dr. Mercado expanded her career in international public health at the World Health Organization, where she served in expert technical positions and then senior management for more than 15 years. Dr. Mercado has held several senior positions in WHO, and if I may cite a few. She was the first director, Division of Non-Communicable Diseases and Health through the Life Course, WHO Regional Office for the Western Pacific region. Coordinator and Tobacco-Free Initiative, WHO Regional Office for the Western Pacific. Team leader for Urban Health Equity Research and concurrent head of the Knowledge Hub on Urban Settings of the WHO Commission on Social Determinants of Health, WHO Center for Health and Development in the Kobe Center, Japan, reporting to the WHO headquarters. She was a founding organizer and secretariat of the Alliance for Healthy Cities, and also served as acting regional advisor for health promotion and aging. Dr. Mercado has earned degrees of AB Philosophy, magna cum laude, Doctor of Medicine, and Master of Public Health from the University of the Philippines. In 2017, she received 2 prestigious recognitions from her alma mater as Distinguished Alumni in Global Health awarded by the University of the Philippines Alumni Association in America in October of 2017, and the University of the Philippines Medical Alumni Society, December 2017. Just very recently, she was given the Global Filipina Network Award during the 2018 Gala Award ceremony in the 15th Filipina Global Summit in London. And there is so much more that I could say about her experience, her qualifications, her competence. But ladies and gentlemen, this election is not so much about her as it is about you. As member states of the Western Pacific, Dr. Mercado has a strategic vision to help us all serve our citizens with greater efficiency through a responsive, transparent, and accountable WHO. And we will hear from her in a moment. More importantly, you know her. And I know that you have enjoyed working with her in WHO. She is dynamic, energetic, and indeed compelling. And we are proud of her. And with your support, she will make our region shine even more. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend and colleague, Her Excellency, Dr. Susan Mercado.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Locsin and Secretary Duque. Good evening, everyone. We're coming to the end of the campaign for WHO Regional Director, but I just want to share that when we started, there was a question in my mind about the campaign and what it was about. And the question was, who is the boss? Who is the boss in WHO? Is it the Director General? Is it the World Health Assembly? Is it the Executive Board? Who is it who calls the shots, who makes the decisions? Every 5 years, the member states of the Western Pacific region, the ministers of health, backed by their ministers of foreign affairs, get to select a leader. And the choice of the leader, of course, is about an individual. But it is also about you, the member states. What do you want? What do you foresee in the future? Where do you want the organization to go? What should the organization do so that you can better serve the people you are committed to serve? And therefore, the boss, you are the boss. The ministers of health are the boss of the World Health Organization. Having said that, I have been meeting with you, discussing, listening most of the time, and trying to figure out, what does the boss want? What do the ministers of health really, really want? And what I hear them say is that they want change. They want change. But is it change for the sake of change? Is it change just to give other people a chance? That's not what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing from the ministers is that they are tired of top-down leadership. They are tired of being told this is going to happen without being consulted. They are tired of decisions that are made without transparency. They are tired of vertical leadership. I'm wearing a little tag here which says horizontal. And in a moment, we're going to give out a little piece of my own thoughts on horizontal leadership. And I thought about it, and I said, all my life, I have been a horizontal leader. You won't believe it, but I used to play basketball when I was in high school, despite my height. And I used to play point guard. I was a guard, right? Of course, they also said I was a good chess player because I was always on the bench, right? But anyway, I used to play basketball, and because I was into team sports, I understood the importance of playing in a team. And as a guard, you don't shoot the ball. You guard you guard against the other team getting the ball. And you let other people shoot the ball, you let the other people deliver. I've been a horizontal leader. I believe that we get things done by working together. We get things done by working side by side. I believe in engagement. I believe in participation. I believe in consultation. I believe in transparency, accountability, decision-making where people are around the table, where we have meetings that are not scripted, where we're able to discuss freely what we are thinking and the solutions that we could find for problems. Most of the time, sorry to say it, but most of the time, we talk about policy, we talk about frameworks, but we do not link problems to solutions. I believe that with horizontal leadership, we can link the solutions to the problems, and that's what WHO needs to do. Let me give you a couple of examples. Over the past few days, I've been talking to some of our colleagues in the Pacific, and some of the countries don't even have capability for dialysis. We take it for granted in the Philippines, for example, where there are many dialysis centers, but many of our colleagues in the Pacific don't have the capability to do renal dialysis. And with a lot of diabetes, it is important to have dialysis as a life-saving measure. Now, WHO is not in the business of giving away dialysis machines. That's just not what we do. But through horizontal negotiations with possible donors, with people who could provide this kind of infrastructure or service for the Pacific Island countries, horizontal negotiations can be done by the World Health Organization to make dialysis available for the Pacific. Yesterday, I was listening at the high-level meeting on TB, and I was struck by the fact that many countries still don't have enough of the essential medicines to treat tuberculosis. Is it possible for WHO to develop horizontal systems of procurement, like what we did for antiretroviral drugs in Africa many years ago? There was a time when no one could afford antiretroviral drugs, but WHO stepped in, negotiated, and it changed the whole face of the HIV epidemic. All of a sudden, drugs and medicines were cheaper and available for the poorest people. So, can we develop horizontal systems? Why aren't we doing that? The other day, I was at the Lincoln Center, and the Guam Cancer Coalition had invited me to attend a beautiful ceremony called Lights of Hope. And how I wish, I could invite everyone to see it. It was the first time I saw it. But it consisted of families bringing bags with names of a loved one who had cancer and lining up the bags around the reflection pool of the Lincoln Memorial Center. And there were lights inside each bag. And I had a bag there for a dear member of my family who has survived cancer. And I was looking at it, and there were 33,000 bags. 33,000 bags around the Lincoln Memorial Pool, representing 33,000 cancer survivors. And this was done by cancer coalitions from all over the United States, including Guam, which brought in 300 of their own bags to represent different patients. And I said, this is a beautiful example of horizontal relationships, where you have people across the seas working in harmony as networks that are linked up to deliver one message. And the one message was that they wanted their policymakers, Congress, to see how many people have cancer and not to forget to put money in the budget for cancer. So, horizontal relationships. Why can WHO not be more involved in that kind of advocacy? So I think this is something I bring to the table. I am inspired by horizontal work. And if I am elected as regional director, or with your support, if I become regional director for the World Health Organization, I will not lead in front of you or behind you, but I will lead beside you. Now, Ambassador Locsin mentioned that he knows my husband, and my husband has worked in politics for more than 3 decades, and he's my advisor. I was talking to him on the phone the other day. And he always says to me, crunch the numbers, Susie. Crunch the numbers and be honest with yourself. Know if you have support or you don't have support. Because if you don't have support, then there's no point. You have to be the person who represents the people who matter. So we have crunched the numbers. Secretary Duque and I have crunched the numbers. And the good news is that the crunched numbers are coming to a critical mass. But we need some more. We need a few more votes to make it. So I recall Tip O'Neill, a longtime Speaker of the House of Representatives of the United States, once said, you don't campaign, you have to ask for the vote. So for our ministers of health who are here tonight, we, the Philippine government, led by our distinguished ambassador to the United Nations, our Secretary of Health, our ambassador and representative to our mission in Geneva, our other diplomats who are here, and of course, I know Alan would have wanted, Secretary Cayetano would have wanted to be here. I saw him earlier. But Lani, Cayetano is here. We are all here humbly asking you to vote for the Philippines. We are asking you to vote for the Philippines. We are offering you change. We are offering you our commitment, our impassioned support, and our sincere desire to work with you side by side for a better region. We are not going to be in front of you. We are not going to be behind you. But we are going to lead WHO beside you. So please vote for the Philippines and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much.